Yeah, hold on.
Okay, we just started our recording, and usually we say blah blah blah, hi, and then
Okay.
we introduce Hairdresser Hotline. But Sid and I are both using our phones to record, so
No, I
we
have it
don't
on
know
my
the
computer.
number.
I can do it. I don't need you, David. I can do it over here. Okay.
You don't need a man.
I don't need no man. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Destroy the Hairdresser, the podcast. This is actually exciting because David and I haven't been together on a podcast episode in quite some time. I
Mm-hmm.
have a life. No, I don't have a life. I have a 9-month-old, and he's taken over my life. But also, we were bringing on a ton of incredible alumni, students, guests. It's been insane to hear their stories and just be able to give them the mic for a second because they put so much work into their business. So I love that. But we are not going to do hairdresser hotline today, but we are for the next episode. So if you have some juicy gossip, something, or you just have a question that you want to ask us, um, or yeah, you just want to say hi, the number is 201-564-5007. We will not respond to you. You can call and leave a message. You can call and leave a message. You can text us. You can I always want to say call us, text us, beep us. But
You
it is
can.
just a number and
It's like
you
texting your ex, right? Like
it is
they're
like
not
texting
gonna
your ex.
respond. They're
They're not
not
going to
gonna
respond.
respond.
But we are going to read it on the air and share it
Just
with
like
all
your
our friends.
ex.
Just like your ex. Okay. Um Personal note, I don't know if I've shared this publicly. I've been on a teeth journey for a very long time. Okay. I'm going to share this. David already knows.
Oh my god. Sid's teeth can't stay in her goddamn head.
Okay.
That's the
So
reality.
when I was 8 years old, I was doing the Macarena on a pool deck. And who would have thought that would be the demise to my mouth for the rest of my life? And I tripped and fell on a diving board and knocked my 2 front teeth out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
The 2 front teeth. And so when I was 8 years old, back in the day in the 90s, my mom was just like, bond them together. They're fine. Right. So I'd like
Really? With
bonded
like
teeth.
glue?
Yeah. She didn't care. And she was like, I was like, what? Were you just waiting for me to have money one day and fix them? Like, you just let me
Yes.
go. And so they were discolored. Also, my mom, like, she was a single mom. She didn't have a lot of money. So she basically, if you're listening, mom, thank you for fixing my teeth. But also, like, what the hell? Okay, so and then cut to living in New York City, quitting our
Uh-huh.
corporate jobs, starting Destroy the
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Hairdresser. I bite into a bagel and chip my tooth, like the
Did
bondings
someone
fall
eat
out.
an onion bagel? Do you know
The
what that's
bondings
from?
fall out, and I had to run to the dentist and get a new bonding. 2020 hits. Actually,
Hold
it
on,
was
hold on. The bonding felt you keep saying bonding like it's a
yeah, it's a
professional
bonding. It's
term.
literally like
Glue.
it's like it's not glue. It's like they make a part of the tooth. So my teeth were like chipped in half. So they like made a fake tooth. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So
Got it. They gave you a fake tooth.
I finally found an incredible cosmetic dentist in Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
and
That's where the
she
best dentistry is.
I'm my teeth. Look at this smile. Hello. She fixed my shit. So basically, she put implants in my front 2 teeth. Well, I also had Invisalign. And when we moved to Chicago, I apparently did not have the right trays. So my teeth shifted. And then my kid kicked my mouth in his sleep and knocked one of my knocked my tooth out of my face. So I had to call David in hysterics. I look like a
Well, hold
fucking
on.
hockey player.
The amount of photos I have of Sid toothless.
Every time I went to the dentist and they had to remove things.
I have so many photos of Sid toothless that I may start posting. It's collateral. If she ever
It's a collage of me with like
if
teeth.
you
Like no
ever
teeth.
try to take me down, I will release the photos of all of your toothless
You
moments.
know
And there
what?
are a lot of them.
Yeah, there are, because I had to do so much dental work to fix these fucking 2 teeth that were causing chaos. Anyways, I went to the dentist the next day. They were like, no, they fixed it. They were able to pop it back in. It was great. Look, it's beautiful. And this has nothing to do with hair. So I hope everyone's just enjoying my
But it
rant
actually
about
has
my teeth.
everything to do with hair
We'll get into
because
we'll connect it somehow. I'll connect it. And so they did Invisalign again to straighten my teeth so nothing would move. And they were like, please don't let your kid kick your face. And I now have those brackets on. If anybody knows about Invisalign, they like glue little like brackets on your teeth to move the teeth.
I have
Oh, you have a perma retainer.
I have a permanent retainer, and they don't do this anymore, and it's probably because it causes other issues.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, my teeth are indestructible. Knock on wood.
Well, I wish they would
Indestructible.
have done that to me. So now I constantly feel like I have stuff in my teeth, and I'm not wearing the trays right now because, we're recording a podcast and I don't want to have a lisp.
Thanks.
But anyways, all right. That was 6 minutes. This episode's done. I hope you have a great day. Oh, it's the
You know what's
holidays,
gonna happen.
so I'm sure people are listening and just being like, what the hell? I hope this was a good distraction from your family.
I hope it was a good distraction from the current state of the world. But what's funny is what's going to happen is we're going to get messages on Hairdresser Hotline about people who have also lost all of their teeth.
I can't wait. I need to feel seen, heard, valued. Please
also,
don't.
Sid has a very tiny mouth. It's the tiniest mouth I've ever seen.
It is. Like at the dentist, they'll be like, "Open your mouth," and I'm like, "It is."
You're like, "It is."
My jaw hurts.
You're like, "It is open."
It's like this. I hope people watch this show more than they listen to it. Anyways, okay. God. Speaking of being with family,
speaking of
how many of you, if you're listening to this on November 28th, 2024, and you are currently trying to hide in a room and listen to us because you don't want to be with your family,
if you're still with your family on November 28th, something's wrong.
That's Thanksgiving.
Oh, I thought it was the 24th.
No. Wait,
okay, these holidays that are like the last Thursday or something.
I can't keep up.
No, just give a day.
I'm curious how many haircuts you've done already.
Oh my gosh. I remember every time I would go home, my family would ask me to bring my scissors, cut everyone's hair. And you know who the most ungrateful people are? The kids. Oh, ungrateful bastards. Okay. My nephew, Jude, he's going through a big hair phase. I think he's like 11. I don't know how old my nieces and nephews are. They're all the same age in my brain.
They're all 10 years old.
They're all 5.
Your niece just had her 16th birthday. So
I know.
I just want you to know that she's behind the wheel.
Actually, I want to let everyone else know she's behind the wheel. Okay. And I don't know about you all, but I remember at 16, I felt I was very prepared to drive. And now when I look back and I look at 16-year-olds who are driving, I'm like, who made the law that at 16 you should drive? They're wrong. It was a bad idea. 16 is not the age. But she doesn't have all of her hours in, so she's not on the road yet. But every time I do kids' hair in my family, and I have a lot of nieces and nephews, they could care less about my talent. They could care less about how much.
And then you just get mad at yourself because we didn't set a boundary. And I set that boundary.
Well, I actually have I have a rule that if I'm gonna do hair at home for family, I get to do whatever I want.
Oh, I love that rule.
Yeah. So if you want me to do your hair and you're a family member and you want me to do this shit for free, control. I get to do whatever the H I want.
That's because the thing. I think people are like, they go so hard, right? There's no gray areas. It's like, I'm either setting the boundary, not doing hair, which I'm a big pro of. Like sometimes you have to set that hard of a boundary of like, I'm not doing my family's hair, especially when I'm coming down and visiting and paying to come see you. And I'm trying not to work during the holidays. But then there's the other way of like, well, I actually personally love doing my family's hair. Like, so
I get wild hair once in a while, and yes. I want to do everyone's hair, but they only have a small window of that.
Yes,
energy.
I'm like, I'm not doing it on the holiday. You come to me. This is my window. I do it just like a client. I treat them like clients. I also set the boundary years ago that I do not do hair for free. Because I'm a colorist, so I'm paying for their color. I'm doing all these things. I'm getting everything ready for them. So like, they're gonna pay me my price point if they want me to do their hair. So I set that boundary a long time ago. And I know that sounds harsh, but like if I'm going to come and fly home for the holidays and I'm doing hair, hello, I'm not working for free.
I
So
want to
it,
I want to share a story about boundaries.
okay. I'll sip
And
my coffee while you talk
it's
about that.
actually one of my favorite stories because it's from our friend Chad Allen
Oh, I
over at
love
Home
Chad.
Shopping
I see him on
Network.
TikTok all the time selling lamps. I mean, it's for Home Shopping Network.
I
Oh my
mean, he
God.
is selling those lamps like they're going out of style.
Before you tell your story, I have to get this out. I'm sorry. I have to get it out. I have to get it out, David.
Get it out, bitch.
I'm trying. I lost it, but it's bad. Okay. On TikTok, I asked everyone what tools they were using, and about 10 people said Volume.
Stop.
I know. Okay, so for those of you
Oh my
listening,
gosh, we have so much to talk about.
I know, but don't forget your story. So for those of you listening, David and I for a couple years worked at HSN. So we would do like 24-hour shows. They would put us on air. We would be the hairdressers doing the hair for the product. There would be a host talking about the product, like whether it was a hair tool or a product. We worked with Campbell
I
McCauley. I don't
love.
even know where he is anymore.
Oh,
But
Campbell, if you're
he had
listening,
a
hello.
product line. And so we would be the hairdressers doing the hair behind the scenes or on air.
But
And
this
then
wasn't
he
with
would be talking about
Campbell.
this wasn't with Campbell. This was a whole other tool called Volume. And essentially, it was like, it looked like a checkerboard pattern, and you would just crimp your hair at the root, and it would create volume. It would create, it would create volume. And
I'm gonna be honest. It was a great tool.
I didn't hate it, but
They
it was
used it on the
definitely for an
show,
older generation.
but they used it on the show. I remember finding this out and being like, "That's wild." They used it on the show Jane the Virgin.
No.
Yeah, because it's a soap. It was very soap opera like. It was very telenovela, so the hair was very
That makes
large.
sense.
Um,
Anyways, I had to tell you that because you said Chad Allen, and Chad worked at HSN. He's
it's
our
all
really good
connected.
friend.
Chad,
He
Allen,
got us the
Campbell,
job, and
Macaulay.
yes. Okay. Now tell your
So
story about Chad.
I have so many stories about Volume. I was live on air. I'm on. If you Google HSN, Caleb Michael Bosher, I'm on Home
Dead name.
Shopping Network selling Volume. Was I
Volume.
doing Volume? Yeah.
No, we were doing that. You were on air for that curl machine that got caught in that lady's hair.
No, that was you. You were on air for the
Oh,
curl,
wait. I
and
was on. That was
it got
me.
caught in a. We
I'm
can't
so
say who. We're not gonna say
traumatized
who, but it was
that
caught in someone's
my
hair.
memory is making you. Okay. Anyways,
Live
good times. I
television
kind
is
of miss
wild. I miss it.
terrifying. I do too. I really want to do it again. We should ask Chad. Anyways,
It's like a
tell your
drug.
story about Chad.
Can you text Chad and say David and Sid want to get into live television?
I will. I'll text him after this.
Okay, so Chad Allen, who I adore, we have been friends for a long time. And he's that friend that like we don't need to talk and we can just pick up every time we see it.
Those are
It's
the best
just
ones.
that great friend. So he went to I don't remember where he went to college, but it was somewhere good, obviously. And Oprah went there, wherever Oprah went to school, I believe. So I don't know if it was he won something or if it was because of his grades, he got to have a dinner with Oprah. It was a group of people that got to sit down with Oprah, and basically she was talking about what success is probably, what success looks like, and how to create boundaries with it, because she was kind of talking about how success doesn't come and then it comes fast. Like it doesn't come, it doesn't come,
Very
it doesn't
true.
come. And
then
then
it
like
leaves you, and then it comes back.
exactly. It gives you a one night stand, it leaves you in the dark, comes back
It
later.
marries you later.
So I remember him telling me this story, and I've never really forgotten it because it was impactful, but he said there was a time where and I'm trying to be careful how I say this, because I don't know how much of the story is in confidence. But apparently there was a time where Oprah's family was asking Oprah for large amounts of money, and it was kind of getting out of hand.
Mucky.
Yeah, because obviously she has large amounts of money and family, and obviously you want to help family, and the other family doesn't know that other people are asking, so it's a lot of ask. So she basically had them sit down. I believe it was during a holiday. It might have been Thanksgiving. She had them all sit down, and she had them all sign a contract that she would this is how much they could get as family members. She would just give them an allowance essentially. And I thought it was so, if you're listening, if you hate wealthy people, you're not going to like the story. But what happened was she had to manage her wealth even with her family, and she created this boundary. And I just remember,
I love that.
and I just remember hearing that story, and it clicked for me on so many levels. And I know that hair and money are very different, but it's the idea of people make the assumption that it's not a big deal for you to give me that, and people,
Yeah.
and it is a big deal
Well, I
to
think
do these things.
people we as hairdressers devalue our own industry. We discount, we do things for free, we give away, we are afraid to charge more, we're afraid to deal with confrontation. We're, you know what I mean, so many things. So like if we're
Yeah,
not valuing it, why would people out of course we're being bullied by clients and family because we're not standing our ground. And then you hear hairdresser stories where they do set the boundaries and they do stand their ground and they're okay with confrontation being really successful. And I really think that's the key of like overcoming that. And so like when it comes to family too, like I said, like all my family pays me. Like they pay me my full price and I do their hair quality. Sometimes I'll even like if I'm going home, like I know a lot of hairdressers from home, so I'll ask if I could use their space and you know what I mean? And make it like, and then sometimes it's like my, aunt will be like, let's just do it at home. But it's like, yeah, I love that.
Th-
I love the idea of setting a boundary, and that boundary could be I'm not doing your hair at all. It could be David's version of like I'm doing whatever the hell I want, or my version of like, oh, I'm making that bread if I'm doing your hair on whatever the boundary is, it's your boundary. But I think the worst thing you could do is just say yes and people please.
oh my gosh, hair for the holidays. That's what the title of the episode should be.
Hair
Instead of
for the
home for the
holidays.
holidays, hair for the holidays.
I love it.
That's all I have for this episode. I think we talked about pretty
See you
much
in
everything.
December.
But I really want to talk about Volume at some point because that was
Ah,
just a wild ride.
we'll do a reminiscing episode eventually.
I have this
You
really
should just
cool.
go live on Instagram on your David Instagram and tell all the stories or do real. I love it.
Oh, Volume.
I know.
We should make a hairline.
I stopped it because I really wanted to end on Volume.